Hello and welcome back to another episode of the DIYguy.net. Alright, today we're going to be showing you how to put body mounts or cab mounts in your truck. This is going to be from 2008 on up to 2016. This particular one is a crew cab. So the part number, if you're going to use the S&B body mounts like we are, is going to be an 81-1003. This is going to be the crew cab. It comes with 8 body mounts. There's 4 on each side on a crew cab. If you had the single cab or extended cab, you're only going to have 6 mounts you need to replace, and the part number is going to be an 81-1002. Alright, so one way to tell that your truck needs body mounts or the cab mounts is to check your body lines. This particular one, the back one on the driver's side actually fell out and he found it in his driveway. But you can see the body lines do not quite match up between the bed and the cab itself, as the cab is sunk down a little bit because it's not supported with the cab mount. Alright, so something that's very important not to do is do not use an impact wrench or an air tool with this. Do it all by hand. You need to go slow. They do have red Loctite on them, and if you end up breaking the top nut that has a cage on it loose, it's a lot of work to try to get a wrench in there to hold that nut so you can go ahead and get that bolt out. So just take your time with it. If you need to, you can get a torch and heat up the Loctite a little bit and it'll help release it so you can get it out easier. But do not use any power tools on it, just do it by hand. Alright, so we'll quickly tell you the locations of the mounts. So there's one right here in the front, before the tire. It's easy to see right through the wheel well. We'll start at that one and work our way back. If you end up breaking that cage nut free and you need to get a wrench on it, you're going to have to remove the headlight to be able to gain access to it to get that wrench on there. The next one is right here at the edge of the fender, right at the front side of the cab. If you end up breaking that cage nut loose, you're going to have to pull the kick panel off, pull the carpet back, and then you should be able to see the cage nut. The next mount is going to be just between the doors, under the passenger seat. If you end up breaking that cage nut loose, you're going to have to maybe move the seat forward, possibly remove the entire seat, pull the carpet back, and then to be able to access that cage nut. Now, since it's a crew cab, we do have the one at the very back. If you end up spinning that one's probably the easiest to get to. All you need to do is tilt the seat forward of the back of it, remove your jack and tool pouch out of it. You'll see this black little cap, pop that off, and then you can be able to get the 21mm wrench on that cage nut. Alright, so the items we're going to need is we're going to need our new set of mounts. Like I said, we're using the S&B silicone ones. So this is the crew cab. The part number is going to be 81-1003. If you had the single cab or extended cab, it'd be an 81-1002 for the S&B mounts. We got our 1/2-inch ratchet over here. We got a bunch of different sizes extensions. We got a 15mm socket. That's what size the bottom of the bolt is for the cab mounts. We got our breaker bar to get them free. We got a torque wrench. We set that to 76 foot-pounds of torque, as all of these will be torqued back in there at that 76 foot-pounds. We got a torch here in case we need to heat that red Loctite up to make it easier to remove it. We got a jack here as well to go ahead and lift the cab up so we can get the top part of the mount out. We may need a block of wood as well, just so we can get a little bit of height on it. We don't need to go super high, just enough to get the top of the cab mount out. Alright, so right here is the front tire. The bumper is there, and this is our first cab mount, right at the front arch of the fender. So we're going to go ahead and grab our 15mm socket, a couple extensions to get us lower than the bumper and the breaker bar, and we're going to go ahead and try to get this out. If it goes hard, we'll apply some heat to hopefully soften that red Loctite in there from the factory, and we can go ahead and get this cab mount removed. So what we're going to do is go ahead and remove all the bolts on the passenger side, since we're starting on this side first, and then we'll be able to jack the cab up just a little bit to get the top part of the mount out right up here. So you may notice with your hardware you're pulling off of the truck, if it's OEM, that the bolts are different lengths, but with the S&B they're all going to be the same length, as the cab mounts are now all the same silicone versus rubber and foam in the back. So they all come out to be about the same length when they're compressed. Since these are silicone, they're all the same height. So you'll notice that the hardware in the S&B is all the same length, so it doesn't matter which bolt you use or which cab mount you use where. It also has Loctite on it as well. Now that we got it loose, we'll switch over to our ratchet. Alright, so as you can see, we got that bolt out pretty easy. I'm not sure if that is a factory mount or not. Being yellow in color, we won't know until we pop it out. But we'll go ahead and move on down the road to the next one. Alright, so we're right behind the passenger side tire now, right at the front of the cab, right where the fender meets it. This is the second mount. I'll see if we can get this one off as well. There we go. I think we're good. We'll go ahead and switch over to the ratchet. Get this one the rest of the way out. Alright, so now we're in the third one back. This one is right underneath the passenger side front seat. We'll go ahead and see if we can get this one out. There we go. That one was a little stuck. Alright, now we can probably switch over to the ratchet. So this one, as you can see, is a little bit rusty. Not too bad, came out though. So we'll go ahead and get the last one right at the back of the cab. Hopefully that one comes out as well. And we can get this side lifted up and swap the top part of the cab mount out. Alright, so we're on the last one right now. We're right here behind the DPF filter, right here at the edge of the cab and the front side of the bed. Alright, we got that one loose. We'll go ahead and switch over to the ratchet. Alright, so I'm not sure if you could see this, but in here, this one has no foam or rubber left in it. This is the fourth mount. The second mount back also, the one right behind the fender, behind the wheel, also had nothing in it. The center one under the passenger side seat did have foam, and as you saw, the very first one did have the rubber in it as well on the radiator core support. So what we need to do now is separate the bottom part of the mount. We'll just get a big flat screwdriver or pry bar. Actually, you don't even need it on this one. Seems like it's moving. So we can just pop it apart on this one. Good thing it's a Southern truck. We'll go ahead and do the same thing to the rest of them, and then we'll go ahead and jack the cab out and get the top part of the mount out. So like I said, just high enough to go ahead and wiggle that old mount out. We'll go ahead and unpackage our new mount and slide it in. So we got our new mount. So like I said, from the cardboard down is going to be the lower part of the mount. You'll discard that cardboard marker. and then that'll be the lower, but this red shim and up will all be the top part of the mount. So we'll go ahead and get that in. Now they do have two little flat square spots, which will make it drop into the frame. You'll see that. Get the cup lined up. We'll go. All right, so now we got this one done, we're going to go ahead and repeat this process, lifting it up and replacing them on the passenger side. Then we'll go ahead and go to the driver's side and do the same thing. So we have all 8 upper mounts in. Then we'll come back, grab our lower mount here, put our bolt in, go ahead and get them started all the way around. Once we got them all started, we'll go ahead and check our body lines. Make sure the cab didn't shift left or right when we're lifting it up. Also make sure our bed lines up as it should. Once we're satisfied with that, we're going to go ahead and torque them down to 76 foot-pounds of torque. Alright, so we're over here on the driver's side. We made it all the way back to this very last one here. We got it loose and almost out, and that's when the nut started to spin. So this is the easy one. We'll go ahead and show you its location since we need to get a 22mm socket in there anyway and hold the cage nut so we can go ahead and get this last cab mount out. So open the door. You'll go ahead and flip the seat forward, the back of it here. You're gonna have to take your lug wrench and or tool patch out. You'll find this black little cap right here. Squeeze, pop that off, and then right in there is the cage nut. Like I said, we'll get a 22mm socket, an extension, and a ratchet to hold this side. We'll go back under the truck with a 15 and go ahead and get this out so we can go ahead and replace this last cab mount. Alright, so I'm on the passenger side. I'm on the third one back. The core support's done. The second one right here behind the wheel is done. Came to this third one. Got the bolt out, no problem. Didn't spin the cage nut. But the problem I'm having is this is an actual OEM Ford, probably original to the truck. And the sleeve that goes from the top to the bottom that connects them is rusted together. So I cannot split them apart to get the top half out or the bottom. So what I went and did was go ahead and jack the cab up off the cab mount, put a 2x4 in there on this strap to hold it up. So as you can see, I got a gap there, and I'll use the floor jack and I'll put a 2x4 on the bottom of the actual mount and push it up so I can create a gap between the frame mount here and the top body mount, and then I'll use a Sawzall and cut it. I'm going to try real quick to use a punch and a hammer just to shock it and see if I can free it up, but more often than not you're going to have to just jack it up, create that little bit of distance between the upper cup and the mount of the frame, and then Sawzall it off. A lot of you northern guys are going to run into this with the salt and corrosion. If you do live up north, you may want to actually coat yours in the center with anti-seize. Maybe give you a better shot if you need to replace them again. Get your safety glasses on, hearing protection if you wish. Start cutting. So now we got the upper cup installed. We'll grab the bolt and our bottom part of the mount. We'll go ahead and slide them together. Thread it in there by hand. We'll go ahead and start all of them like I said, and then we'll go ahead and just check and verify that the cab is in the correct position, didn't scoot left or right, or tilt in the back. Make sure the body lines are good. And at which point we'll run them down a little bit tight with the ratchet, and then we'll go ahead and get our torque wrench and torque them to. So once we have them tightened down, we'll go to 76 foot-pounds of torque. Okay, so we got this one torqued. We'll go around and do the rest. There we go. Keep on moving around. Alright, so we got all the cab mounts replaced. We got them torqued down to 76 foot-pounds of torque. As you saw, the front one here was easy on both sides. This one was easy on both sides. And the very back one was easy on both sides. We did spin the cage nut on the driver's side in the very rear, which we showed you how to get to with the seat. We had a problem with these middle ones underneath the seat on both sides. The third one back on each side, if you will. It was the OEM one from Ford, and just the sleeve would not come apart. I got the bolt out no problem, but I couldn't separate the upper from the lower as just the sleeve was rusty. So we ended up cutting those with the Sawzall. Hopefully you could saw that last night. It was getting a little dark by the time I got back to it. Hopefully it turns out good in the video so you could see what to do if yours is stuck as well. We had to jack the cab over in the back just a little bit. So what we did was put a bottle jack from the frame right to where the step attaches and just pushed it over 2 pumps or so, just enough to get it to line up with our body and our bed. We'll go ahead and show you what the cab mounts look like real quick. So here is the set we removed. The front ones have been replaced, as I thought they have, but we do see the word China on there. Those are definitely stiff body mounts, if you will. These are the ones right behind the tires, which were pretty bad. These are the ones that I had to cut. The third one's back underneath the seat. So you can see where I cut it right there where the 2 sleeves meet. Those 2 were not too bad either. And then these are the back ones. As you can see, those were kind of gone. So this truck was definitely in need of some cab mounts. So that's it. We just shown you how to replace cab mounts on a 2008 to 2016 Ford truck. Don't forget to click the link in the description, which will take you to our website for a full write-up. You can also click that subscribe button you placed in the middle for you. On the right, you'll find a recommended video just for you. And on the left side, you'll see our recent upload. Thanks for watching another episode of the DIYguy.net.